You're welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Weekend Show. And now we are going straight into the conversations that we have today. We've just been joined by Credo Ekpunobi Chiewenitem. Is the way I was looking. Here. Chiewenitem. How are you doing? And we're going to be having a conversation on Beyond the Runway, the business and art of modeling. How are you doing? Good morning.
I'm doing very fine. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
How do we start on a new channel? Because I wanted to say something very stereotypical, which is when you see male models, a lot of times they are very extremes. It's just someone who's very macho or someone who is, embracing his feminine side. Is that Oh God,
No, I did not. I'm with you, especially that feminism.
Feminine time. No, it's not even feminism. I think it's just more embracing like their feminine side, a little bit more girly, a little bit more girly pop and all of that. Is there a reason why it is so? Is there a reason why we see feminine men or feminist men, will I say thrive or more in the industry?
No, I don't think there's any particular reason for that. But then I personally, I think I'll go with the first one, embracing my macho self, because I myself am a gym bro. As they call it. But then I don't look at people in the industry that way. I believe everyone has their own passion. Everyone has a passion, and anyone can chase their dreams. So I don't see that. I don't see it that the feminine people that embrace their feminine sides, are more successful in the modeling industry.
Okay.
All right. So now let's start from you. How did you get into modeling? How did you, sometimes I feel like this is once again me being stereotypical. Once you are fine, once you have good looks, you have the height. Do you understand? Like the modeling industry sometimes can be very dependent on your physical attributes. Just like basketball, really. Like, you have the major thing, even if you are maybe 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", and all of that, and you can play, you have the skill. They will still choose someone who is 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'4" over you. Even if you are way better, just that physical attribute. And your height is not your fault now. Do you understand? Same thing with your looks. Your looks is not your fault. You might really like modeling. Do you understand? Maybe your size. Your size can be your fault, but most times genetics plays a very, very key role. Do you understand? So you might really be passionate about modeling. You can know how to catwalk. You can do all the old things, but they will choose someone who, he's taller, who has a slimmer figure over you and all of that. So in your case, was it a case of you having the physical attribute because you're very good looking and you're tall as well? So was it a case of you having like the physical attributes and let them just go here, or you're like, let me actually do this thing because you're interested in it?
Okay, just the way, although we should get back to that, but then just the way they are short basketballers too. You can't deny the fact.
Yeah. The thing is, there are short basketballers. Sorry to cut you short, but the short is relative. They are short to their teammates. I think yes. They're short to their teammates. I think Steph Curry is at around 6'1". But like when you see Steph Curry with his teammate at 6'7", everybody's like, oh, Steph Curry is so short. Oh, he's not short. You understand? Please go ahead.
I get you. All right, in my case, it's going to be a long story, so try to buckle up. In my secondary school, I used to look up to models. I love the way they empower people with what they do. I love the way they look, the way they walk, the way they appear on their social media pages. So I love that, and I actually wanted to go into modeling in secondary school. But then I had friends that told me that, okay, there's no money in modeling, this is that. And at that point in time, anything you want to do, you take it that you're doing this to be rich. You're doing this.
Yes.
So, I removed my mind from it. You get. So, fast forward to when I got into the university, I was called to contest for Mr. Engineering. That was where my pageant journey started. So I was called to contest, and when I got there, I discovered that I had a great passion for this. And I didn't really have to look at the monetary aspect. I did it because it was something I loved. And from pageantry, I delved more into modeling. So that's how mine started.
So from pageantry, you just delved more into modeling. Okay. So now, how would you describe someone who is a successful model? Because you say there's no money in it, though there's no money in it, but how would you describe someone who is successful, who is doing modeling very well?
They said there was no money.
Okay.
I'll take it as a misconception.
So
Yes.
there is enough money.
By God's grace, there.
Money is there.
Yes.
Just have to know who and who.
Yeah. So apart from the fact that we all agree that a successful model should have money, I believe a successful model is someone who has built a strong personal brand for himself. Yes. A strong social media brand too, having a good support base, you get, and yes, more importantly, having your own core values and boundaries.
Okay.
Yes, it's very important as a model. So I believe these attributes are what a successful model should have.
All right. So one of the misconceptions you said now is that they said there's no money. So what other misconceptions do we have around models? Because I know there are so many of them.
There are many, yes, just as you said. But then, okay, let me give you two more. Yeah, making it three. So I contributed three. The first one, I would say, outside the walls of modeling, it's believed that models are just judged based on their physical appearances. Yes, but then as a model, you should have good work ethics. There are other things to it. Good work ethics. You should have, just as I said, values and boundaries. You should be very professional. Yes. Another misconception is the lack of diversity. Yes. People think of modeling to be, okay, some people now, let me just complain. Some people would say that plus size people can't model. Yeah. Yes. But I think that's not true because there are different types of modeling. There are different branches. Pageant itself is a branch of modeling. There's brand modeling. Yeah, so I believe that's a misconception because there are other branches of modeling apart from the runway model, which I think is the only branch that even judges that the other branches of modeling that those people can partake in. Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to ask, there is this thing that comes with the many people that have interest in modeling are running away because of some certain things where you hear like the outside world, people who are not in modeling, you always hear something like, if you're getting into modeling, it's a kind of difficult. You have to know somebody. There are kind of corruption in there. Did you witness or did you pass through that stage? What can you say about that from your own personal experience?
I won't go against what those people are saying, maybe from their own experience. But then from mine, I've seen that modeling, like to be a model, you have to actually start from scratch. I never found myself in a position where I would say, okay, they are doing this for this person, or many of my friends that I know that are models too started from scratch. Yeah, so it has to start with building yourself. It has to start with knowing your niche too. Okay. Yes, when I talk about branches of modeling, knowing your niche and doing all you can to be very successful in that particular aspect of modeling. So I don't really believe in that.
How do you deal with the stereotype that, if you work, and I think it's also kind of intertwined. You work in media, you work in modeling, when your face or a physical attribute of yours is one of the things that gives you money, because you work in media, maybe you're a presenter, your face is something, it's like a brand for you. Modeling, your physical attributes is like a brand for you. And then there is always this misconception that, it's there's something they call it. They say it's a cover for like a prostitution or runs or all those kind of things. And then people just stereotype that, this person, whoever works in this industry is loose.
For you to get to this particular level,
you must have done one or two things
of this kind of thing. That's what I mean by the corruption. I don't want to call out the names, but
let's wasted this young man. This is what you are going through the corners. Going through the corners.
So there's this stories where you hear that when you see somebody at the top, maybe doing a particular pageant,
one or two things to get here.
This person is not qualified, but we know he went through this particular thing.
Even when they are qualified, and that's one of the heartbreaking things. Like even when you see this person and you're like, this person is actually really good at what they do. and yeah, people will just come and diminish years and years and years of hard work and talent to, oh, they are doing one or two things. And even when you see somebody that maybe is not probably meeting standards, people are graced in different ways. That's the way I see it. Somebody might be very crazy about their branding. There are some people who are comedians today that are not funny. Like, well, I will not say they're not funny, that you don't find funny, because it's subjective. You don't necessarily find them funny. The actors you see in movies are like, you don't necessarily think they can act, but they've, put in work with their branding, grace, talent, luck. A lot of all these things are factored in. And then they're also other people's cup of tea. So we're asking this, how does it affect you and how does it affect the industry when people want to diminish your years of hard work and talent to just, oh, it's probably on somebody's bankroll or something like that. How does it work?
Well, I think in that case, that's why there are stereotypes. Yeah. And I would also call them misconception. Because just as you said about comedians, allow me borrow. Just as I said about comedians, models, it's just like that with models. Some people make it through grace. Some people make it because they have connection. And some people do for some other reason. Yeah. So I don't see any reason why models should be judged in that way, in that manner. Successful models should be judged. It's just the way people will still say, although Davido is very big. Davido is a very big musician. But then people will still say he can't sing. Or that kind of thing. I believe it's everywhere. So like, you can't run away from it. Just as a model, be yourself and be true to yourself. Know your core values and boundaries.
Okay. So what personal challenges do you face in climbing this ladder to get to where you are today?
Okay. Personal challenges. Okay. I think keeping to myself, because there are some of my friends that have actually tried to stop me from going into the modeling industry. Yeah, so keeping to myself, chasing my dreams. I think because currently I'm Mr. UNN Universe 2024. Yeah, so if I had listened to them at that time, I don't think I would have. So I think I overcame that challenge. Then keeping fit. Like going to the gym, it's not, how do I put it? It's not, at some point it will get interesting. Yeah. But at the beginning, it's not easy. It's not easy. The pains after, the fact you have to go, even when you're feeling that pain, it's actually not easy. And these and many more are the challenges I faced coming up. Yeah.
All right. So you are the Mr. UNN Universe 2024 and Misters of Nigeria Enugu Representative 2024. Tell us a bit about Runway, because I know modeling is very diverse. There are a lot of niche. There's a lot of niche in Nollywood, in modeling and all of that. You can have face models, you can have runway models, you can have
brand models.
There is ones video vixens. There are different niche that we find yourself in. But tell us a bit about Runway, because I feel like Runway is, is it chasing the crown? Mr. This today, then you're Mr. That tomorrow. What's the ultimate, because I feel like, what's the ultimate thing you can win? Is it Mr. Universe? And if you get to become Mr. World, what's the next thing? Because I feel like Runway, are chasing crowns and all of that. Tell us a bit about the runway industry.
All right. Pageantry.
Pageantry. Yeah. Sorry, runway.
Pageantry. I figured when I heard you talking about crowns.
Yeah, sorry, pageantry. Yes.
So, pageantry is not just about the crown.
Okay.
Personally, I find pageantry to be like, is a branch of modeling where you can be put on a platform to empower people. I myself, I'm driven by my advocacy, which is harnessing the transformative power of art to drive social change and tackle pressing global issues. Yes. I started this because of the things that happen in our society. Like, I think recently I and the second runner-up, Mr. Global 2024, yes, Favor Obokiri, yes, we led a 1,000-man march against gender-based violence. Yes. So these are the types of issues I would love to tackle, because I'm a lover of all forms of art. I love drama, music. So I believe it can put me on this platform where I can get to drive that social change. Yeah.
Great. So what you're saying is, so what are you looking out for? Like, which particular position are you looking out for? Where are you seeing? What's your peak in this particular role?
This current
This pageant
Industry.
and ambition of yours. What's your peak? What are you looking out for?
Is there a peak really?
there's no
There's
really
no
a
peak.
Is there a peak?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, at what point do you, in the pageant industry, at what point do you, and I feel like it cannot even be a general question, because at what point do you feel like, oh, I've conquered this industry? Because like I said, it feels like sometimes a chasing crown thing. So at what point, let's use Chidinma Adetshina, who
Yeah.
what can be the next thing for her? What can be the biggest thing that she would do if she has already contested on Miss World? So and then I think she was first runner up and all of that. So what's the next thing? What's the biggest thing she can possibly do? If that is that not the biggest platform she could possibly be on? So that's why I think that's what we are asking.
I
Like, what could be the
understand,
peak in the pageant industry?
Okay, I'll tell you that it's not just the title, but what you can do with that title.
Okay.
Yes. Even as the first runner up, I believe you can you're already on a platform where you can get to empower people. Personally, I think my break point would be when I've gotten to touch the lives of people, when I've gotten to empower people with my own advocacy, when I've seen that I've done enough, although it can never be enough.
Yeah.
But then when I've seen that I've done so much that could be done to empower people and to drive social change.
Okay. So in summary, every crown is a peak of its own, depending on what you're able
Thank
to
you
get
very
from
much.
it.
Oh, that's a beautiful summary. Oh, that's very good. And then obviously, like you've also really emphasized, which is building a personal brand. Because of you have a personal brand. Chidinma Adetshina can decide to go into acting tomorrow.
Yeah.
She can decide to be a video vixen. She can decide to be a politician. She has, because of that personal brand that she's built, people will trust you and want to continue to work with you. So thank you very much, really. Thank you so much. And so, you're a representative for Mr.
Enugu State, Mr. of Nigeria.
Misters of Nigeria, you're a representative. What does it mean? When is the competition? When is it happening?
Okay, it's actually kicked off. When is that? But we're just doing the unveiling.
Okay.
Yes, I was unveiled earlier. Okay, late last month.
Okay.
Yes, I was unveiled. So we're just doing the unveiling now. I think the main competition will kick off from next year, and the grand finale, we've not been told yet.
We've not been told yet.
So one last question. Now, is it being a solo model and being signed to an agency? Which one is better? Have you tried any of them?
I won't say any of them is better, but me, I'm more of a pageant king. Yeah, being a solo model is what I do when it comes to runway, because I've been called by some brands to work on their runways. Yeah, so that's just what I've done. I'm being a pageant king too. So I can't say I can compare both of them. Yeah, although being signed to an agency makes it very easy for models.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
I mean, being signed to anything, like, it makes it easier.
I just wanted to know some of the challenges they face, how it goes in there.
I agree with you. And also, the way I see it, even if you're a solo model, I don't think you're also a solo model. You probably have friends who maybe help you with a couple of things, who help you with the logistics. Do you understand? So you probably have someone. So you're not really alone when it comes to this creative industry. Like, you're not really alone. But when you're signed to an agency, the agency now takes care of you and helps with other things. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're very proud of the work you're doing. And I mean, even your mindset, listening to you has really changed a lot of things for us. So thank you so much. I'm sure the viewers also feel that way. All the best at Ministers of Nigeria later next year. Thank you so much once again for joining us. This is Credo Ekpunobi Chiewenitem. Got that right? And we had a conversation on Beyond the Runway, the business and art of modeling. We'll go on a very quick break. When we return, more conversations on the Morning Weekend Show. Just stay with us.